In this video, we're going to talk about 3 secret things you got to know about Augusta before you move here. Now, I've done all the research on YouTube, and I guarantee you there's no other video out there that talks about these 3 things. So I'm going to catch you up to speed in this video about 3 things that you got to know about Augusta before you move down here. And make sure you stick around to the end of the video to hear some pretty spooky things that happen here in Augusta that have to deal with the supernatural. What's going on, guys? My name is Christian. I'm a realtor and a relocation specialist here in Augusta, Georgia. If you're thinking about making the move down here or you want more information, all my contact information is in the description below. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video. So chances are, if you're thinking about moving to Augusta, this probably isn't the first video you've watched, and maybe it is, and I greatly appreciate that. But for this video, I'm not going to talk about the big major things in Augusta like the Masters, or how hot it is here, or the lack of traffic, or the prevalence of traffic depending on where you come from. Because all that stuff is pretty basic, and you can learn that stuff from a Google search or just about any other YouTube video out there. For this video, I want to dive into some of the incredibly unique aspects about Augusta that up until now I haven't found a video on. So first up is our local bar scene. Now, we ain't no Atlanta, we ain't no Charlotte, we ain't no big city that's gonna have 100 different options for you within a 50-mile radius. But for the city of Augusta, which the larger metro area has a population of only 600,000 people, we've got a lot of options for you that offer some pretty unique atmospheres. We even have what some would consider Augusta's very own speakeasy. It's one of Augusta's best bars that you'll never find until now. Fox's Lair is an underground bar that's located beneath the Old Town Inn, which is a bed and breakfast located in downtown Augusta. The bar offers live music every night and is open 4 nights a week. It's not often that you see speakeasies around here, and it's even harder to find them. So it's certainly cool that even in a small city like Augusta, we've got something really unique to offer. There's also other bars like Whiskey Bar Kitchen that offers over 200 different types of whiskey that's hard to find across the country. They also offer authentic Japanese cuisine and craft burgers. So if you're a whiskey connoisseur like myself, maybe you like scotch, maybe you like bourbon, Whiskey Bar Kitchen is going to offer you a lot of options to choose from. Jackson's Bluff is another rooftop bar that's located above the Crown Plaza just across the river in North Augusta, South Carolina. Now, this bar offers incredible views of the water and a great atmosphere being situated right next to the Green Jacket Stadium. You can even have a drink while you watch the game from above. Now, for the next one, I know we said we're not going to talk about the Masters, and I promise we're not going to, but there is a specific thing that you need to be aware of before moving here about owning real estate in Augusta, especially during Masters season. So if it's not obvious to you by now, there's a huge demand for the rental market when Masters comes around. In Richmond County, which is where the Augusta National Golf Club is located in, the population is only 200,000 people. And during the week of Masters, 200 more thousand people come to Augusta, Georgia, meaning our housing options are very, very limited. Now, this poses a great benefit to you as a homeowner here in Augusta because you can charge exorbitant amounts of rental rates for that week of the Masters. Now, the best thing about that is there is a special tax code, and I'm not a CPA, so don't sue me. This is not financial advice, but there's a special tax code called the Augusta Rule that says that if you rent your house out for less than 14 days out of the year, you don't have to report that to the IRS as income, meaning it's tax-free. Now, granted, in any other part of the season, this wouldn't really be much. I mean, you may get away with $1,000, $2,000, but during the season of Masters, if you own, say, a 3-bed, 2-bathroom cottage within walking distance to Augusta National that's mostly renovated, you can charge $1,100 to $1,300 per night for the week of the Masters. That's probably over 10 days of just tax-free income that you can get of $1,100 to $1,300 of income. I live in Grovetown, and I live in a very suburban style home 20 minutes away from the golf club, and my house is already rented in September of 2024 to 2025 Masters for over $600 a night. And I don't live close at all to the Masters, and I don't live in any kind of particular home either. It's very suburban, and it's nothing spectacular. But the fact that you don't have to report this as income means that you can take basically a free vacation that somebody else is going to pay for every single year that you can pretty much bank on. Throw your house on Airbnb and throw up a crazy high price, and you would be amazed at how many people are actually interested in it. Now let's get into some of the spooky stuff. If you're into the supernatural, this next secret about Augusta is definitely going to appeal to you. Now, most of you supernatural fans probably already know that one of the most haunted cities on the East Coast is Charleston, and in a close second is Savannah, and those cities are only 2.5 to 3 hours away from here. Now, I would say a lot of that supernatural trickles down here into Augusta because we definitely have our fair share of haunted places. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to share with you 3 spooky stories about ghosts or haunted places here in Augusta that you are probably going to find interesting. But first, let's go ahead and set the mood. Alright, that's more like it. The first haunted place here in Augusta is gotta be the Old Medical College of Georgia. So the story goes like this. Back in 1852, the students of the medical college needed more cadavers to study. A cadaver is just a dead body that's been donated for the purposes of science. The problem here was that the administration didn't really care where the bodies came from. So they hired a 36-year-old slave named Grandison Harris to dig up bodies from the local cemetery and bring them back to the university for the students to study. Now, because grave robbing was illegal back then, as it is today, Grandison would perform his ghoulish activities at night under the surveillance of only the moonlight. He would read the obituaries during the day, and then when darkness fell, he crept into the cemeteries, dug at the head of the freshly dug graves, and then with an axe, he would chop away at the graves until he hit the coffin. He would then pull out the bodies, place them into a bag, put the bag onto a cart, and then cart the bodies away to the medical college. Now, after placing the body in the bag, he would then set to work restoring the grave to its pristine condition. Now, according to former workers and students of the university, Grandison was apparently very good at his craft. After he was done, the graves were left to appear to be as if they were never disturbed. This dubbed Grandison the nickname the Resurrection Man. Now, Grandison died in 1911, and nobody really could confirm whether this was true or not because the bodies were never seen to be found or recovered. That is until 1989, when renovations of the college began and workers dug through the floor of the facility. And to their shock, over 150 bodies at various states of decay were found. Most of them just skull and bones, labeled and marked for the purpose of scientific study. In 1998, all of the bodies were officially returned to their graves in unmarked tombstones labeled "Known but to God." Now, some claim to still see the Resurrection Man in the Cedar Grove Cemetery, still digging away at graves like he did in his former life. Others say they can see the apparitions of former slaves who are still meandering around the grave, searching for the Resurrection Man and seeking their revenge. Now, I don't know, personally, I've never seen or witnessed any of this stuff, but when I heard this story for the first time, and even now as I'm telling you, it definitely gives me the chills, and there's plenty more just like it. The Partridge Inn is also another haunted spot in Augusta and has been dubbed one of the most haunted hotels in Augusta. But the story that goes with this one is not as sinister as one might think. In fact, it's rather sad, but the story goes something like this. The Partridge Inn was originally built as a private residence back in 1836, but has seen many renovations throughout the years, and is actually a popular destination for folks touring to Augusta that they can still reside in today. But legend has it that back in the Civil War, a woman named Emily and her groom were destined to be married at the Partridge Inn. During their stay there, the groom ended up leaving to go somewhere on horseback and was mistaken for a Confederate soldier wanted for treason. He was unfortunately shot on sight, and when the bride heard about this on her wedding day, she was absolutely devastated. The story goes that Emily never took off her wedding dress for several weeks after her groom's unfortunate demise. She eventually died several weeks later from heartbreak. A truly tragic set of events, but there's been numerous accounts of staff and guests saying that they can still see slips of Emily's wedding dress peeking around the corners, and Emily herself walking through the halls of the Partridge Inn late at night, searching and crying over her lost husband. So that's going to do it for this video. If you liked any of the information that I provided, or you want to learn more about living in and around the Augusta area, I'm going to be posting more of these videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to like and leave a comment down below if you've got any questions. Again, you can find all my contact information in the description below if you're interested in learning more about Augusta. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time. Peace.